Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's the Monday mashup. Joining me, as always, our resident ref, my cuz, and your favourite referee, Marky. How are we?
How's it going, cuz? How are you keeping?
Not too bad at all. Did you have a good week?
Yeah, it's been good working away and spent the weekend with the kids. And on Sunday or yesterday, we went up to the new park up there, new cafe open and all, and then came back for and watched the derby from behind the sofa. So yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Don't worry about that. But yeah, interesting weekend of football. But we do
Yeah,
have. We'll run down through that. We've definitely a few VAR and refereeing decisions to chat about as well.
yes, yeah,
And we'll
yeah, yeah.
definitely be talking about them. We'll be talking about this week's European ties that are coming up related to the Premier League teams. We'll have a quick chat about them. We'll talk about my favourite new ice cream, but we won't get into that yet. It's a little bit early for it.
That's it.
But we'll drink up all those Nottingham Forest tears. There's no doubt about it. Morris is watching a murder now on TV, but we will get into
Was
that.
that
We will
was that
track.
not yesterday? No, us getting
Uh,
murdered by City. No
not
more.
as much as this, not as much as the same tonight.
I
Anyway,
know.
that's for
Yeah.
sure. At Sheffield United, but we'll keep you posted on Sheffield United as well and how that's going. At the moment, it's 5-0 to Arsenal. Looks like if they wanted, they could be on track to break the Premier League record. Odegaard scoring on 5, Bogle on 13 with an OG, Martinelli on 15, Havertz on 25, Rice on 39. They're all getting in on the act.
That's
What I
it.
do now is I put the forward lads at the back and I put
Yeah,
the backs up forward and I try
go
and
for
get
it.
everyone on the score sheet.
Well,
That's how I would do it.
funny enough, me and one of the lads, James, we were sitting there on our break today having a cup of tea and we are talking about the match and he was saying about predictions. And I said it's going to be a big scoreline and Saliba or Gabriel to score from a set piece. So in the second half, I'm hoping one of them do. 20 goals in the last 4 games Arsenal have scored. That is
Yeah,
mad.
they're on track actually. They're going to break the record tonight as well, aren't they? For 5+ goals in 3 consecutive
Three,
away
yeah,
games, apparently.
yeah.
So
So,
yeah, they're going to break that record as
and
well.
listen,
So
people might say it's Sheffield United and Burnley, but you still have to go out and do it. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely. But listen, they can score as many as they want tonight. They ain't on top.
Yeah.
So before we begin and before we get into the chat, of course, let's talk about Hogan Elite Trophy here.
Yes. Still going strong. Still getting messages and bookings in by the week. If you have any event coming up or birthday party, whatever it might be, a club event, give us a shout. We'll look after you with a discount if you mention the Monday mashup as well. And like I was saying to you before, plenty of events coming up over the summer, particularly with the Man United Legends teams and stuff like that. So I should be sipping on a few points with the likes of Wes Brown and Yap Sam and Karl Boborski again now during the summer. So should be looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So make sure you go over there and share the love and follow Marky on all the socials and stuff like that. And if you do need a trophy, we've said it before, for that special occasion, they make a huge difference, especially if your team is doing well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
definitely check out Marky and that. You've seen some of the other photographs. They've smiles on kids' faces and all that kinds of stuff from it and stuff like that. So make sure you check it out. Right, let's get into the comments first before we begin. Morris is in, watching a murder now on TV.
Go on, Martis.
Absolutely.
What's the crack, man?
Forrest was robbed.
That, well, yeah.
Really? Really?
I'm just glad
Liverpool were
Aces
always
hasn't
going to...
commented on United, so I don't mind.
Morris says, Liverpool were always going to win that game. Don't know why people are salty. Morris, we haven't won at the City Ground since 1984.
Really?
Really?
Jesus.
Really? There you go. So we're not bad at breaking records ourselves this season. Baz is in. He was in with me today. Evening,
Evening,
lads. What's
Baz.
the crack? All good. All good.
Go on, the Baz.
Said he'd just be watching us on the full screen TV. The
Class,
whole
man.
shooting match. Rovers 1, Derry 0, according to Acers. There you go.
Shells are 1-0 up as well, as far as I know, and I think
Saying that, yeah.
a good chunk of the guys who watch us here on a Monday night, the likes of David, William, Keno, they're all down in Talca Park tonight watching that game. So
Nice. Records and goals are fine. It's trophies that matter. Exactly. And I do like that Carabao Cup. Arsenal will be top on Saturday night. Acers. Now stop that. Okay? There's no need for that. No need to be bringing in that negativity. What's the crack at Niall and Mark? Big up, Daz. Hope you're well, my
What's the
friend.
story, Daz?
I
Hope you're
noticed
keeping
that
good.
I got a heads up today. Maybe it's only in the UK, but Argos in the UK are stocking a line of littler dart stuff.
No way.
Yeah, so I seen it there. Yeah, I seen it advertised there today. So
Funny
there you
enough,
go.
I was only talking. We were chatting to Nicole about Argos there last week about when we used to go to Blackpool as kids. Man, and Dad would get lists off people to get stuff in Argos because it wasn't over here. The Argos was just around the corner from our hotel, and yeah, every time we went over, they come back or they come with a big list and have to bring a load of stuff back as well. Like
And now it's gone back the same. Now
Mad.
it's gone back the same, isn't it? It's madness the way it moved there. Hang on one second. I just want to message one.
I hope the
Uh,
chat were watching the snooker live from Goffs last Saturday. Ken Doherty won it. The World Seniors. Um, I sat in for the afternoon with the girls watching it. It was very good.
yeah.
One of my neighbours here, Fergal O'Brien, was playing. Jimmy White was there, Dennis Taylor, Ken Doherty, Tony Knowles was there as well, and stuff
Tony
like that.
Knowles,
Yeah, yeah.
jeez.
It was a really good event. It was sold out in Goss as well. It was on Channel 5. And I just read today they got one viewing figures of 1.2 million on Saturday. So it was a very good event, and hopefully it
That's
comes back next
big,
year as
isn't
well.
it?
Yeah, yeah. So
And
yeah,
I just heard, am I right in hearing as well that Tony Green has passed away
really,
from Bullseye?
no
Yeah.
way. I didn't
Just
know
in the
that. No.
I don't know how current it is, or is it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
happened or something. I just seen it there earlier. Someone posted it.
Thing,
So myself.
geez, I didn't realize that. I must Google that. But that event on Saturday, the snooker, Stephen Hendry was there as well. It was 15 minutes each frame, and um, there was two groups of three players and stuff like that. It was excellent. The lads should watch it now. It's be on again another few months from somewhere else, but it was really good, especially from Goss. There hasn't been a live event in Goss in a long time, and Jimmy White was there, and he was explaining how good the atmosphere is over there. You know, when they used to play in the Irish Masters and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully they might bring something like that back here. You know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's like we rolled back the years, don't we, on some of this stuff. Aces
I know, yeah.
AEW Revolution was insane. It was insane. We'll be doing a review of it tomorrow night. Yeah, really looking forward to it. When is the next snooker, do you know, Mark?
It's in Saudi Arabia this week. They're trialing the new golden ball as well. So that should be interesting.
Oh, what's the
There's
new
gonna
golden ball?
it's a thing they're trialing. So obviously when you put the black down at the end, there's gonna be a golden ball on the table.
Okay.
And it's just extra prize money. With being in Saudi Arabia and stuff, they throw millions at it. So obviously you get your 147 and then you I think I'm nearly sure the golden balls were 20, so you can actually get 167, which would be the highest break ever. So the likes of
Where do they spot it?
see, this is the thing. I've been seeing it in a few on the practice tables. Ronnie O'Sullivan was practicing earlier. I was watching a bit of it, and he had it on the back cushion. It was right on the back cushion behind the yellow, brown, green. So, but I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. But that's where I've seen it. So I don't know whether it's just there for the practice or what it is, because, or they're going to unveil it in the first session or whatever. But that's all I've seen so far. I've seen Ronnie practicing earlier on and stuff, and it was right on the back cushion.
Interesting.
So
Morris
yeah,
is saying he was there in 97, 98. Jimmy White was there. Benson and Hedges sponsored it, and
Benson and
everyone was
Hedges, yeah,
smoking.
yeah,
Benson
jeez,
and
yeah.
Hedges, Irish Masters, yeah.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Jeez.
Like, a great venue to watch the snooker. Like I said, I was here on Saturday afternoon with the girls watching it and stuff. But yeah, do you remember Benson and Hedges? Did you have Marlborough sponsoring and stuff like
That's
that? You
right.
know,
Yeah, absolutely.
and the lads used to smoke at the side of the tables as well.
Yeah. They'd be nearly leaving the cigarette on the side,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Onana will be flying out to Saudi Arabia to fight AJ, then straight back for the Everton game on Saturday afternoon. You imagine
You never
Bohemians
know.
losing 2-0 at the moment.
Both, yeah.
Right, let's get into this. Before we start, though, tell our listeners and those in the chat the challenge this week. The in terms of difficulty.
Oh yeah, so I sent Niall a thing last week. What is the most difficult achievement in sport? Is it a 147? nine darter, a perfect hat trick, or what was the other one called? A hole in one.
All about the goal.
Yeah. So what's the most difficult achievement in sport? So you have the 147, the nine darter, the perfect hat trick, or the hole in one. I'll give my thoughts at the end of the show if the lads want to drop stuff
So
in the comments here and let
let
us
us
know.
know your thoughts in the chat. Rank them in order of difficulty from 1 to 4. Let us know what your thoughts are on it. Right, let's get into this Premier League review. And we start off with Brentford versus Chelsea, 2-all.
Yeah, it probably a much needed point for Brentford. Even though they were 2-1 up at one stage, I think Chelsea did start off the brighter. Obviously, Jackson had that opportunity. I think he took it around the keeper. He took it a bit too far. Um, Obviously, if that goes in early, it builds Chelsea's confidence up more. But they went at it. Jackson eventually did get his goal, but then Brentford created their own chances, and Wiss's goal was just unbelievable, wasn't it? What an overhead kick, like in the second half, and but yeah, 2-1 up. You think, right, just see the game out, and Chelsea get back in it and get the equaliser and get away with a point. But like I said, it probably was a much needed point for Brentford in the end, you know.
Yeah, I think Thomas Frank will be sick a couple of times this season now. He's been in winning positions and he's slipped back badly. Let's take some comments in first. Jack is in. Big up, Jack. Hello. It was my birthday yesterday. I got a sick desk with built-in LEDs and a 165 hertz gaming monitor and
Nice one.
toast.
Happy
Jack, you
birthday,
had a
Jack.
very good birthday. Make sure everyone in the chat is giving Jack a happy birthday. Light it up a happy birthdays there for Jack. Ace was in. Ten Hag has only 3 games to save his job, but he is already quit.
Oh, stop, man.
We'll
The
talk
amount of
about it. We'll
forums I've
talk
been
about it.
looking at and this, that, and the other, and it's just like,
They're poison. Poison.
stop,
Just
man.
playing some EA Sports FC right now whilst watching the stream. Love it, Jack. Love it. And thanks for tuning in as always. Is Partey wearing his shock tag on ankle tonight? Good Lord. Big solid news, Noel. Back Thursday. Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Hope so. Get a few minutes in Thursday. A little warm up for the Sunday. Right, next up. Everton 1, West Ham 3.
What about Burnley and Bournemouth?
No, I'm not skipping them. These aren't in order, so I'm going in order here.
All right, no,
So I don't
no
get
problem.
lost.
Yeah, Everton and West Ham. Yeah, listen. Obviously, Everton missed a penalty early doors. They had another opportunity after that as well. I think Beto.
Bet on 56.
Yeah, he missed the penalty, but then he had another good opportunity. I think just after the penalty, and you're thinking, right, that could have been 2-0 at that stage. That's game over and done with, you know. Then they go and get the goal, but they let West Ham back into it. And to be honest with you, oh, here's Arsenal on the attack. Ah, to be honest with you, even at 1-1, everything looked like they were just going to play out for the draw then, but West Ham kept going and going, and obviously got the 2 goals in injury time. You know, obviously the third goal, Everton were throwing everyone up at that stage, and they hit them on the counter, and it was a nice little dink over Pickford. But yeah, Everton be very disappointed. They could have well and easily got the 3 points if they had taken their opportunities.
Yeah, up next, Fulham 3, Brighton 0. The Jack and Hyde effect of Brighton
Yeah,
again.
listen, cuz we've talked about this how many times. I spoke about it a few weeks ago, how they haven't won 2 in a row since the start of September. They'll win one, draw one, lose one, blah, blah, blah. But it was that again, you know, and it was good to see Evan Ferguson back in the team. You know, although he had a great opportunity in the first half to score, and you're thinking if he had a few games under his belt, that maybe that goes in, you know, that sort of way, and it might change the game. But fair play to Fulham. They kept that consistency up over the last few weeks. They've been playing really well. Muniz scoring again and stuff like that. But when you look at it, Fulham could have easily won 4 or 5-0 if you look at the chances they created and you know didn't take. It could have been easily 4 or 5-0, you know. And obviously, Adama Traore with the third goal and stuff like that. So
Looking lovely as well. Lovely finish.
he did, and it was great work by I think Reid, wasn't it?
That's right.
He brought it out to the left and little dink ball inside, and yeah, no, it was a great win for Fulham. They're doing wonderful things at the minute, and they're a tough team to play against. we know as well as anyone after Old Trafford there 2 weeks ago. So, but yeah, Brighton, you know, where are they in ninth or 10th now or something like that? I think Wolves are just behind them. I think.
I don't
They're
know.
just they need to get a run of form together. You know, they're just so hot and cold. It's
They're in ninth. They're a
they're
point
ninth,
above
yeah.
Wolves.
Yeah, no, they're hot and cold. And listen, it was kind of sad when I heard a few of the stuff about Evan Ferguson and his mental health and stuff like that. You know, it's not what you want to
Yeah,
hear. And obviously, he's still only a young lad, and he burst onto the scene, and you know he got the big pace check and stuff like that, and they don't teach you that. You know when you're coming up through the ranks in the academy, in the likes of St. Kevin's, like he did, and he went with Bowes and stuff, but you know you're in there training every day, football wise and tactics and stuff like that.
yeah,
They don't pull you aside and say, "Listen, you're gonna be on a big whack. You know, the spotlight's gonna be on you. This is what's gonna happen." And yeah, it's everyone's different, as we all know. We all have different personalities and different way of dealing with things. So hopefully he'll be okay and get back to his normal self. You know,
yeah. We forget at times that the kids behind it all.
that's it.
Um,
Like
Newcastle 3, Wolves nil. Very unlike Wolves under Gary O'Neill, this one, but Newcastle
it,
full value for their win.
It it is in a way, you know. I was looking at it and thinking, right, 3-0, but I think it flattered Newcastle a lot. Wolves had the more possession in the game, and they'd actually more shots on target than Newcastle, you know. It's just
Mm.
Newcastle took their opportunities more. But one thing I will say, that's Newcastle's first win at home since mid-December. For me, if you're pushing for Champions League football, that's not a good enough stat. That's not good enough form at all, you know. Um, it's a listen. It takes a bit of the pressure off How for now. You know, 3-0 at home. Like I said, I think it's a scoreline that flattered them. I don't necessarily think they were the better team on the day. I think Wolves, the Dubravka pulled off some amazing saves. I don't know if you've seen it. Like he was on top form.
Yeah,
Obviously, for the Newcastle second goal, Sa makes a mistake, and Anthony Gordon's there to tap it in. But I think I think the scoreline is a little bit flattering, if I'm being honest.
yeah. It was, but they feel. I don't know. I think I was watching Newcastle, especially in the second half, and they looked very controlled and contrived in the way they were doing things. And I think with Wolves, there was a kind of rinse and repeat about them as well, so they kind of worked them out a little bit. So
Yeah.
needed a bit of changing up.
But
Um,
like I said, it's a much needed win. Obviously, like I said, that's that not winning for at home since mid December. You know what those Geordie fans are like, you know, and I said it was a great atmosphere on Saturday when the full time whistle went. Listen, 3-0, 3 goals, clean sheet at home, 3 points. But yeah, it just kind of covers over the cracks slightly.
Acers is telling us it's 6-0 now to Arsenal.
Yeah, just seeing it there. It was Ben White. Jesus.
And why so they are
It was a
all
great
chipping in.
finish. It was a great finish as well. Oh, because when I seen it going in, I looked at the screen there. I thought it was like Martinelli or something like that. But just before that, because it's like Arsenal are toying with them. Like any time Arsenal go forward, they look like they're gonna score. Like you know.
Yeah,
Um.
absolutely. Morris is in. AEW is dead. Acers dead. I have to say, I enjoyed the show last night. I'm feeling it now because I was up so late for it, but it was Sting's last match.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
so I stayed up for it out of respect, as they say.
Fair
Next up,
play.
Nottingham Forest nil, Liverpool 1 in the 99th minute.
Yeah. It was. Sorry, I'm just looking at the replay of the goal there. It was excellent. You say. Yeah. It was. Obviously, if you're a Liverpool fan, it's a massive result, especially listen, Forest, they they aren't known the last few weeks to be very good at the back and stuff like that. But when you see the opportunities, like Alanya had a few chances. I think Origi, remember the opportunity he had in the first half as well. That would have been something else. But then Hughes had some chances. Robertson had a chance, and this that Diaz, I think, hit one just past the post at one stage.
That's right, yeah, flash one.
But yeah, so but listen, with the controversy, the hot ball, what I will say is, um, there was obviously I don't know what it was, a head injury, on your defender. I think it was
Yeah,
that
Kanate.
Yates went in on him, and
Yates, Kanate with a high foot, yeah, absolutely.
so. But like, listen, Forest were in possession of the ball. There the referee obviously gave it back to Kelleher, where it should have been to a Forest player, or Kelleher should have been a drop ball, and Kelleher gives it back to Forest, which is like an unwritten rule. It's like a sportsman thing, you know. But I will say is watching it, there's about 3 or 4 phases of play after that. You
2
know, the ball
2 minutes
exactly.
before the goal.
So like. I don't understand from a Forest point of view. The owner rushing onto the pitch. Stephen Reid got red cards. You know, there's coaching staff getting yellow cards and all. Lads, there's 3 or 4 phases of play. For one stage, it gets into midfield. Then it comes back out to the byline, goes out for the throw. Then it goes up. I think there's a corner even after that at one stage, isn't there? That kind of it was a Harvey Elliott. It came to him at the edge of the box. He takes a shot or whatever. But like, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Like, I don't like even Sky Sports. If you look at it, they show the incident and then they fast forward the 10 minutes as if it's like,
of course, as if it was 10 seconds later.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to go down and find that narrative, but to me, no, it wasn't there. And listen, it was a great header by Nunez. I think he'd only come on probably 10-15 minutes or something like that, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. He'd only come on. Yeah. Big
great
by Endo on the edge of the box to win the ball back as well. Pass it to McAllister. McAllister making the space, put the ball in and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it was a great header and a good win. Like Forest haven't been great defensively, but like I said, going forward, they're so dangerous at times. You seen it there on Saturday yourself when you're watching the game. I say good, you know. But yeah, listen, vital 3 points for you to stay on top and keep pressure on the teams like Arsenal and City around you, you know.
It was absolutely massive 3 points. Massive
100%.
3 points.
They're the
next
type
up.
Sorry, good. Now they're the type of games you look at, especially like a 1-0 result. Chelsea did it the very first season. They won the Premier League under Mourinho. They got them 1-0 away against tricky teams, and you're thinking something could be up here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Where am I?
Just looking at the bleeding.
Morris, AEW was not dead. AEW was only dead for 2 years, but Cocaine Can finally woke up. 1-1 Jack in his FIFA game. Daz, should we have had a penalty foul on Dan's? Should we have had a foul on Dan's? I don't know. I don't see that given. Dazzler's in. Big up, Dazzler. AEW is a graveyard. Shut up, Jerry. How's my 2 favourite mashers? We are good, my friend. We are good.
Dazzler, you're looking great, man.
Looking good. He confirmed all the booking today as well for the Palace game, so can't wait for that. Romy won Kenobi. We're staying in the Marion in Manchester, by the way, because the hotels in Liverpool were crazy.
Are you serious?
There you go.
So Dazzler knows there anyway. He'll probably you and him, and we'll meet up at Graham Souness on Saturday night for the
restaurant and all. Yeah, absolutely. Off to the Trafford Centre. I've never been to it, so
have you not?
Be interesting. Never been to the Trafford
It's
Centre.
A great centre, but like, obviously for me, when I'm on my holidays, it's like a busman's holiday. I try to stay away from the shopping centres and all.
See, I felt for years if I spent money in Manchester, I was kind of funding you. So it felt dirty to me, you know, that kind of way. Like even when I flew through Manchester Airport, I normally wouldn't buy anything. It just felt wrong.
But even Yvonne loves going. She loves the Arndale Centre and the big Primark there across from it and stuff like that. But the Trafford Centre. I remember you love the food court. Oh, it's class. They've an arcade and all. And
I do like a good food court.
It's Daz, I will tell you, it's like a big ship. It's like in the shape of a big ship and all. And they've all spud you like in this, that, and the other. It's there, it's well worth a visit, 100%.
Romy One Kenobi is in. How are you, my friend? Thanks for joining us again.
How's it going, man?
Big fuss over nothing, says Morris with the Forest game. Hey, Romy One Kenobi. Hey, Daz. Dazzler super kick. There you go. Dazzler super kick. 2-1 to me again. Big up, Jack. Hope you're winning. Manchester's a great spot, Niall. The locals are great crack. There you go.
It is.
Ed Matthews was in Liverpool yesterday outside JED. Can't believe I missed him. Damn. Someone in my skill met him. I wonder what he's like. Tough game for us against Valencia on Saturday. So glad Vinny Jr. bailed us out. Yeah, absolutely. It's getting absolutely. It's getting into the business end of the season, as they say. Next up, Spurs 3, Palace 1. Palace taking the lead with Eze with a lovely
Great free kick. He actually won the free kick. It was like back in school. He won the free kick. He stood up, put it down, and what a finish into the top right corner. But
letting everyone know I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
yeah, exactly. But like in fairness, Spurs had their opportunities for it, and I think Son hit the post. Timo Werner should have scored in the first half, but then Brennan Johnson came on. I thought he changed it up. He changed the team around. To be honest, he was. They looked a bit lackluster for about 10, 15 minutes in the second half there, and when Brendan Johnson came on, I thought he brought that energy on that they needed, and obviously he was the one putting pressure on down the right hand side that led to Timo Werner's first goal, Timo Werner, and Romero's goal. It was actually quite a similar header to Nunez, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The way he jumped and he got a flick and went into the far corner, but and obviously Song getting on the score sheet. I was expecting a bit more from Palace, especially taking the lead, and obviously with the new manager there, there's still that kind of new manager vibe and stuff like that. And I thought they might have taken that confidence into the second half, but it was all Spurs after that, and it was a professional second half performance by Spurs.
Yeah, they folded big time. Son took his goal very nice as well. The breakaway
He
one.
did.
Took a really, really, really nice finish. No less than what we'd expect from him as well.
Exactly.
Martinelli off injured. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking with the lads. I was saying they should be subbing lads off and not being stupid. There's no need.
Well, I think, like, in fairness, in the other 5-0 and 4-0 games, he did that. He started taking them off around the 67th minute, the likes of Saka and all. I think he just went off there in the 63rd or 64th minute. He hobbled off there, but he had in the other games made those changes in or around this kind of time now coming up. But it's interesting. There's still a few of them out there. Odegaard and all are still there anyway.
Yeah, and Darren's just after informing us on Beat the Bookie on Thursday show. He gave us a winner. Just realised they gave out a 22-1 winner on Thursday show. Spurs 3-1, Villa 3-2, and City 3-1. All result and both to score.
Both to score. Nice
awesome.
one.
Awesome.
Nice
he
one.
follows it up with "You're welcome." You're welcome. Hey. Morris, the ankle tag is off. Part 8. Majak is 2-2 in this game. Sheffield Police. There we go. Romy 1 can now be second leg for us against Leipzig on Wednesday, so hoping for a response after the bad performance on Saturday. Yeah, you know how to get through. You've been there, wrote the book on it, so that shouldn't be a problem. Real Madrid. Next up, Luton 2, Aston Villa 3. The Ollie Watkins show in the beginning, but your ex-boy Chong coming up with the goods. Morris then with a quick fire one, but the little ex-toffee lad, Lucas Digne, cropping up with the winner in the 89th minute, and the scenes from Emery were unbelievable.
Villa started off really bright in the first half, and it just goes to show you, we always give out about the linesman not putting the flag up for a phase of play, but he allowed Watkins to go on and score the goal before putting the flag up, and then he put the flag up, but obviously it went to VAR. Ollie Watkins was onside, so it just shows you that does work in certain circumstances. I know, listen, we've seen it go up, players have gotten injured, then he raises the flag for an offside, but in that instance, it just shows it can work. Top Villa played very well, but when Luton get a goal, I said it when we played them a good few weeks ago. When we get a goal, or Luton get a goal, Kenilworth Road just erupts, and it's just it sucks energy out of the opposition team, and that showed as well. And they got into it. Yeah, Chong with a tap in from a few yards out. There was bodies everywhere from the set piece, and then Carlton Morris done what he's been doing all last season in the Championship, banging in goals. Great finish at the back post. And then it was just kind of like whether they could hold their nerve or maybe push on to get another goal. And like you say, Villa came up with the goods, and listen, they're playing so well this season. Like I said,
Luton as well, when they drew level, missed a couple of really good chances.
They did. They had some good chances. I think Morris had another, or Carlton Morris had another chance after that.
Just missed it, just glanced it. Yeah.
So, but listen, another really, really good win for Villa. They're still up there. You're thinking on form. They do deserve that last Champions League spot. I said it last week, and I've said it the week before. You can't deny it from them. It's they're playing really good stuff at times, and it's from. Exactly, and it's from all over the pitch. You might have obviously we've seen Spurs before relying on the likes of Son and Kane, just those two, but it's coming from all over the place. Diaby, you've Douglas Luiz there, obviously Ollie Watkins, and but yeah, there's loads of lads doing it there
Suppose the
this
worry
season.
for
It's
them
great.
is Bailey coming off injured, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Again,
Reading there today, I don't think it's too serious, but you know, it does take one little knock like that, or maybe two, to a domino effect, and it could take your season off tilt. But they're doing really good at the minute.
yeah, absolutely. You should keep an eye on them. Then we have Burnley 0, Bournemouth 2. Burnley with 75% of the possession mark
Yeah,
and
yeah,
20 shots.
yeah.
20 shots and still couldn't find the
It's
back of the net. Kluivert
it's
on 13 and then Bournemouth sealing it on 88 with Semenyo.
see again. That was unlucky, you know. We talked about Burnley getting beaten by Arsenal and a few other the teams. You know, this game at Bournemouth on Saturday was a perfect opportunity to try pick up a few points. These are the games that you need to, you know, against the likes of Bournemouth and teams around you. They were very unlucky, I have to say. You know, I think Trafford only had one save to pull off in the whole game. You know, for a so-called keeper under pressure, that, you know, that's not too bad at all. I think the second goal is unlucky. It takes a deflection and off the back of the defender, and it goes in the other way. Trafford's going one way and it goes in there. Yeah, it's more pressure on company, isn't it? You know, it's another defeat. At home, particularly, like I said, it's a game that you'd expect hopefully to pick up a point from. But listen, Bournemouth have been playing excellent. They're really tough to play against, but they probably took their foot off the pedal a little bit on Saturday, thinking, "Oh, it's Burnley, you know, we'll go out here and coast it." But like you said, 75% possession, they more shots on target, more attempts in general, and like I said, Trafford only had one save to make. So
Yeah.
again, slightly like the Newcastle game, I think the scoreline did flatter Bournemouth, but you know, it's massive pressure. I think they still only have 13 points, don't they?
All about points at this stage, yeah,
Li-
absolutely. All about
Listen,
points at this stage.
like we could talk about the 25% and this, that, and the other. The only stat that matters is that 2-0, and you know it's
Yeah, you could say it, even with the points deductions potentially coming in for Forest and for Everton as well. Those points at the moment are going to be vital, and like 2 wins can be the difference between staying up and going down. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? It's just a kind
And I
of a
think
lack of. Instead of, I think what's happening with Burnley as well, they're looking at the bigger picture instead of focusing on the game in the moment and stuff like that. No, I think they're
they're
getting a bit
looking.
derailed. Yeah, Romy one can always in. Douglas Luiz, I rate him, but the frauds Barca might go in for him in the future with their Spotify money. I think he's a big target for Arsenal, isn't he? Aren't Arsenal very
Yeah,
interested in him as far as I
yeah.
know? What did you make of that news the other day? Actually, the Barcelona news that apparently they're going to drop Nike and
I
they're
s-
going to create their own kit.
I seen that
And basically,
they were saying that they were the first team that are going to be able to do that. I think Southampton done that years ago, didn't they? If I can remember, I think it
I'm
was.
not too sure.
I
Maybe
think
they struggle to get a sponsor.
yeah, it could have been. I think it
Sorry,
was oh
Saints
08.
fans. Sorry.
I think it was 08, 09 they done it, but yeah, it'd be
Uh,
interesting to see because they've been with Nike for so long now. How long is it? Because they
that's
went
a
from
good while now.
Kappa back in the late 90s to Nike. I'm nearly sure it
Mm,
was the late 90s, could have been around 99 or so. They went from Kappa to Nike, so
yeah.
geez, a
Big
long
up,
old
Del
time.
Boy.
And
Big
Del
up,
Boy
Del
Gunner,
Boy.
what's the story, man?
There you go,
No,
pal. Hope you're good.
another happy man tonight.
Morris, company is class. Results don't matter. Manager of the season.
Listen, like I said,
Big up, Del Boy.
he's probably should have been gone around Christmas time or so. So he's
As
just
Johnny Minerals calls company, light bulb head.
light bulb head. Jesus
remember,
Christ.
remember that picture they did of him on the front of the plane?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
they had his head on the front of the plane all the time. No wonder he wears a cap all the time. Del Boy Rovers versus Derry on Virgin Media 3. Full time 3-3 in Jack's game.
There's
Ted is
still
in. Surely Barca can't afford that. I think the thinking behind it, Ted, is that they're going to corral all the money basically and get all the money in, not just the percentage. And I think that's where it's come to. I don't know whether it's the kind of move most teams will do, but Barca's financial situation is very precarious at the
it's
moment. And I
crazy,
think,
isn't it?
you know what I mean, selling the crown jewels off on a 10-year and a 12-year and a 15 and a 20-year deal and all. And just, I don't know where else they have to turn in terms of money, but I think La Liga as well, they're kind of, I think they're sheltering them because they know they need the money in terms of the league and stuff like that. No, but very interesting. Barca couldn't create a wrestler on WWE games. Never mind, kids. Just give them bin bags. Their job done. Tell you, it has to be about corralling of the money. What money? The money they paid refs off, which yeah. Tell you, it's all coming out now. Look,
Too right.
look at Romy One Kenobi in there with his Los Blancos. Come on, bury them.
Tell you, man.
Unreal.
No better
You need
Google.
them there. To reach greatness, you have to have a dance partner. You need them. There you go. That's what you need. Right, let's roll it out then. Finish it out. Manchester City 3. Manchester United 1. Rashford, it's the hope that killed you. Cracking goal. Answering the haters. Doing plenty of interviews. That's where it's at. And then went back into his shell.
Big time. Yeah, it was a weird afternoon. I was sitting here watching it, and like I said, we went out to the park, and I actually had my United tracksuit on, and we went into the cafe and came out, and yeah, this old lad sitting there, and it's only when I was walking away, I seen he had a Liverpool hat on with a tiny little LFC thing, and he goes, "Should you not go home and get changed?" I said, "Why?" He says, "He's like, going to get hammered today." I said, "Oh, here we go." Everyone was thinking it, but obviously you go in and you're looking at the way we set up and stuff like that. We sat back for a while and then we catch a break, and Bruno played a nice ball back to Rashford, and it gave you a bit of hope and a bit of like, Jesus, we could actually do something here. But yeah, we went on the back foot then again, and listen, it was one of those things. You look at City, like look at that chance Haaland missed in the first half and stuff like that. The, and I was thinking, because of that, I was like, Jesus, maybe this might be City's day. But yeah, listen, that we got exposed like we have been doing. You seen that ball De Bruyne played that cut us open, and Phil Foden came onto it, and it was a good. I thought Onana played decent. I thought he was solid enough. I think the second goal, I think he should have had a stronger left hand. To be honest with you, I think he should have saved it. But I think other than that, apart from some of his antics in the second half, I thought he had a decent game handling it from crosses and stuff like that, because they were putting Ake and Haaland in there around them and stuff, and made it difficult for him. But
it was interesting. Do you know what I noticed? It was interesting for a keeper who was brought in to play out from the back. He sure knows how to find a nice ball up front, doesn't
the
he?
long balls,
and pick players out and stuff like that.
The long balls,
and not only that, he hit them at a low range as well, so they were nice little missile balls into players real quick to control and all.
Sure,
and I was impressed with that, and I was thinking, you got to be doing more of that. Do more of that, lad.
The one where he played it and Rashford gets it and he heads it, but obviously there was times Rashford for me was going up against Kyle Walker, and it was like he didn't believe he could beat him for pace. We all know how fast Kyle Walker is. Don't get me wrong; he's probably one of the fastest fullbacks still in the Premier League. But come on, man, make a bit of effort, show something. He just stopped, and he's waving his hands, and obviously he went down easy for that foul and stuff. Before the City's first goal, great finish by Foden, by the way. He's on some top form at the minute. We're seeing a few post people were slagging him, saying obviously Southgate was in the crowd, but he'll pick Jordan Henderson still ahead of him, excuse me, and stuff like that. But listen, City were always going to get back into the game the way they played. We sat back, we soaked up a bit of pressure, but you always knew they were going to go on and win it, And listen, I know that sounds a bit kind of coming from a United fan after going 1-0 up, but City are City, aren't they? They know how to get over the line, especially this time of the season as well,
Well, you know what happens. You open up and then you get beaten 6-1. So yeah, you have to have some sort of a game plan. But the problem is, I think what people were saying today, listen to some of the Man United channels out there and stuff like that, you haven't been coached properly or have the proper players to play in the transition.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest problem. And because you haven't done it, then when you come up to a game like this where you find yourself having to do it, you find yourself a little bit lost, and eventually you get broken down and get found wanting.
I see. I get what people are saying, but I think a lot of it comes back to I haven't seen one Manchester United player this season play for Ten Hag, play for the badge. They don't show any heart or desire. They're just there to to go through the motions at times, as if to say, right, I'm out here, I'll see what happens. To me, a lot of them haven't been playing for Ten Hag or playing for the jersey. Like I said, it's you don't have it. Like, you look at the change room we had back in the 90s, all lads out enjoying football, nothing to do with money or who's on this or who's on that. We had the same nearly starting 11 all the time, and they were ballers and they played for each other. They all hung around together. Like, you've seen the scenes before of Dennis Irwin and Brucey and all in Bruce's house celebrating the first league, and they all done things together. Like, speaking to Dennis Irwin, they all still meet up in the pub of a Sunday, every other Sunday, with their wives and stuff like that. They're still tight. This group of players, you wouldn't see doing that in a few years. They don't care about their teammates and stuff like that. And that goes from, look at Bruno Fernandes. He's the captain of the team. He is not a captain. He cares about himself. He cares about giving out to referees. And it's just frustrating. You look at Rashford, he does that interview on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it was. Oh, feel sorry for me, blah, 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 whatever. Just go out and prove your point on the pitch. Now, like I said, if he was a decent footballer after that goal, that would have given him the confidence to go on. But like I said, even that time he headed it down and he didn't even attempt to go and chase the ball down from Kyle Walker. It's like he just gave up. It's just an absolute disgrace. And like I said, I hear a lot of fans, particularly straight after the match, which I don't think is a time to go on the forums and post up, because your emotions are all over the place. A lot of them are calling for Ten Hag's head. Has this season been good? No, it hasn't. But it doesn't. What I'm saying is, yes, partly it comes down to the manager, but you have to look at the lads out there on the pitch.
His the one thing I find with players like Rashford and Bruno, in those key moments, they lack that bit of ball IQ.
100%.
In order, like, I looked at Rashford there yesterday and I was thinking, he's after getting a goal, so he must be pumped for this. And obviously he had a point to prove with the interview and everything and the timing of it and all. But I was thinking, that one where he was running in with the ball that Kyle Walker chased him, the second opportunity, I was thinking, just shoulder yourself in there, put your body in front there, make him make a decision. And if he takes you down, he's getting a straight red.
Exactly.
Use your bit of cleverness. Where's your nous that you learn playing football on the streets and stuff like that? That cleverness and stuff like that.
Doesn't have
I just thought it lacks that, and it's just weird. And then when it doesn't happen, then you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. Then kind of it's feeling sorry for themselves and stuff like that. No, but I don't know. It's
nearly scored there because Sheffield United keeper pulled off side there.
Yeah, be surprised if he did. Be surprised if he did.
Yeah. But we did create chances. But I remember one stage we were on the attack and Bruno gets it and he just plays it back to Onana. Then and you're looking at it going, lads, just try create something. Don't be afraid to go forward. We were holding ourselves back going forward because we were afraid they were going to catch us on the break. You can't do that against it. You just go out and play football against them,
Yeah, the biggest issue for me as well, looking at it, is the post match. I love the pre and post match pressers and all that kind of stuff. Gives you real insight into things. I've said it on loads of shows. For me, Ten Hag, he's talking absolute nonsense. I don't know what matches he does. He's losing it in that area.
I've watched a few of the interviews and I'm like, you're either on drugs or now. Listen, different managers have different way of doing things. Like some lads don't want to go out and criticize their players in pub. They'll do it behind the scenes in the training ground or in the dressing room straight after the game. But sometimes you just think, these lads in the dressing room need to kick up their arse. Just speak the truth. Don't try to mollycoddle them. Don't try to wrap them in cotton wool.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm not necessarily looking for them to go out there and grill people and stuff like that. But I'm looking for them to give a reasonable summary of how the game went.
Rather than
a truly analysis of it. That to be going out and saying, well, we could have won it and we should have won it and this, that, and the other. Like, second half, he's got battered from pillar to post, and he's just 100%. In denial of some of these things. And I don't know what it is. Is it that he's on the way out? Is it that it's already decided? Is it that Ineos have told him, you're not the guy for us, and he's just finishing out the season? Is it the Jadon Sancho thing? He's scared because if he does it with Rashford or he does it with Bruno, it'd have obviously bigger ramifications and stuff like that and all. And look, like it's as you said already, players playing for the badge and stuff like that. They don't seem to be playing for him. Like you'll get a couple of the younger guys in there. Mainu obviously is putting in a shift. McTominay always puts in a shift, regardless of his level of quality. Maguire has been putting in a shift. So it's interesting as well. The ones that he wanted to bin off are the ones that are putting in a shift, and the ones that he was loyal to are the ones who are kind of letting him down. And like we've seen this story time and time again at United now, rinse and repeat, managers sacked, rinse and repeat, same thing over and over again. Not only that, generally speaking, the same players involved that are binning these managers off and leaving them out, and it's just it's a weird situation, but it's so difficult to do as well, isn't it? And fix, It's crazy, but Romy Kenobi, Bruno hasn't got the minerals. He really, really doesn't, and it's just, and what shocked me, and I said it the other day, actually, I did a video on the Marcus Rashford. Just bring Marky back in there. You all right, cuz?
Yeah, no, sorry about that, lads. The battery went on the laptop there, so I'm just on the old phone.
Yeah, no, perfect. No, but I was saying to people there, I did a review of the Marcus Rashford interview. And I was thinking, you're Man United through and through since you were a baby, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why are you sitting back letting Bruno Fernandes become captain of Man United? Why haven't you got the balls to step up there and go, I want this captaincy and I'm taking it and I'm going to lead this team? It's so weird. And
he's not that type of player as well. He's just, you'd want him to be. Obviously, he's born and bred in Manchester and come through the academy, signed when he was 10 and stuff like that. But he doesn't have the goners to do it, And obviously, Bruno, he's a more kind of, I wouldn't say he's captain material, but he's probably the most captain material that we have out there. Even though Harry Maguire, since getting the armband taken off him, has probably stepped up to the plate a lot more than a lot of the other lads around the pitch, So he's so frustrating. If you go back and look at his first season when he burst onto the scene and he scored the 2 goals in the Europa League, and then on the following Sunday he scored 2 goals against Arsenal in Old Trafford, and you're looking, he's lost that desire about him and that kind of the love of the game. It's like it's almost a chore for him to put on the jersey and go out and play, And I've said it before. I said it on the mashup, and I've spoken to my dad about this before. It was like when he was going through worse than what he's going through now, we felt like he should actually go back and play with the 23s and just find that love that he has for the game, instead of putting pressure on him, putting him into these big matches and all the kind of media attention around it. Just let him go back and enjoy football, go back to the basics. And I think he still needs to do that, to be honest with you, in some way or form. I don't know what way it is, but he has to find something that he fell in love with the game at the start. He needs to find that again.
I was saying to Darren last week on the Thursday Tier Talk, I turned around to Darren and I said, he actually needs a change of scenery. He needs to leave Man United to find his love of football again. I think because of the pressure on him and how it weighs on him, because he's Man United through and through, he's the guy they go to, basically, even though he's not the captain and stuff like that. He's the guy they look to. He's the guy they go to. He's the guy they lean on. And I don't think it's like he's being straddled with this and he doesn't want it. He needs to get out. I reckon if Marcus Rashford went to PSG or Bayern Munich or whoever it is,
he'd probably show him.
He'd absolutely tear it up, I think. And I think just the whole United situation, the last, I don't know what's he there now? It's probably, he's there all his life, but probably senior 8-9 years at this stage or whatever it is.
9 years, I think it is, yeah.
It's 9 years. So he's there the guts of nearly a decade now in terms of at senior level and being around it and stuff like that. And it's weighing heavy on him because it's been a tough time for United during that time and all,
Definitely, 100%. And you're seeing the whole thing about Belfast and, inviting your one back from the restaurant and all. And listen, no matter what, you can always give them the gratitude when it's there about feeding the kids and stuff like that. But that other side of things, you need to earn all that stuff out,
Yeah, I think as Romy Kenobi is saying here, it's going to be very difficult to move on some of these players because they're on top wedge. It's going to be very difficult. I don't think Ten Hag. I agree with Romy Kenobi, and I said it from the start. I never felt Ten Hag was a United manager. I just never felt it. It's a tough thing to do.
listen, obviously what he done with Ajax and stuff like that, and I don't think. Look, was Van Gaal ever a United manager? Was David Moyes ever a United manager? You never know till they're put in that position, and people probably thought back in the day when Fergie came in that he wasn't a United manager as well. Sure, what is he doing? He's won a Europa or the UEFA Cup with Aberdeen at the time and stuff like that. People probably didn't give him much hope, but obviously nowadays football has changed and people have their own systems and their own style of play and stuff like that. But I just think, and a question goes up on I've seen it on a lot of the forums. I don't know if Ted is on any of the Facebook things as well and stuff like that. But when people are saying, "Oh, Ten Hag out," then you ask them, "Well, who are you going to get replaced him?" They don't have an answer. That sort of way. They just don't have an answer to it. So it's a difficult one.
Well, they do. Most of them do have an answer, but it's not the answer that anyone wants to hear, because if the answer is De Zerbi or Graham Potter or something like that. I was listening today. Today the talk is Thomas Tuchel.
I've seen that as well.
That would be horrible.
It's mad that Zidane does be still in some of the conversations as well. When you think about it, he'll go elsewhere in Europe, I'd say, if he was going anywhere. Tuchel, I don't think. Listen, I don't think he'd be what the answer that we need. Graham Potter, do you give him a chance after what happened? De Zerbi, I don't think would leave. I don't know. I can't see him coming to Manchester United.
What the issue is? The issue is for a lot of these managers, and especially if you look at Ten Hag as well, the job at Man United is a monstrous job.
Yeah, big time.
24/7, every second of the day. You're under scrutiny. You're under a microscope. That's very different than managing Ajax in the Eredivisie.
100%.
The scrutiny is nothing like that. Like especially and I know, especially with the British media and stuff like that, they're so invasive. They're literally telling people what cereal you had for your breakfast nearly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a certain kind of character to push back on that. And the minute you mess up even once, the minute you drop the wrong one-liner or you talk one sentence of absolute crap, they have you in the rat trap. You're done. And they just grind you down like a mince, or grind you down, till you begin to hate yourself. You begin to hate yourself from it,
What I will say to Rob Canap's comment there, I don't think you could say, if there was another manager in charge of Manchester United, he'd be still doing what they're doing with the players they have. It's not because of Ten Hag. It's down to, you look at Klopp. Klopp's been one of the most successful managers for Liverpool. He's won the league once, and this, that, and the other. A lot of the other times Manchester City have won it. So it's not down to a particular manager, I don't think. So I wouldn't agree necessarily with that comment,
Do you know what I would say about it as well, though? One of the issues for me is, although Klopp has only won one league, he's been really, really close.
He has been.
Well. Whereas if you look at United, the drop off in this decade from United, they've rarely been in a title race in reality.
No, yeah, and listen, what I will say as well, you've had that consistency of Klopp. Where we've been chopping and changing managers and stuff like that. You look at, we had Moyes with Giggsy, Van Gaal, Mourinho.
We've even spoke about it. You have a team made up of 3 or 4 managers of their squad.
Exactly. It's so, absolutely. Klopp has been pushing them. We haven't, but we've been chopping and changing. Not only that, we've gotten some absolute howlers of signings over the line and stuff like that, where you've had Edwards there doing wonders in the transfer market and stuff. We haven't had that consistency behind the scenes either, as well on the pitch. So I think it's a big combination of things that has to be sorted out. Hopefully Sir James going to come in and try to start that process, because you're looking at it, you're 11 years after Fergie and you're still a shambles. And like I said, it's not just on the pitch, it's even behind the scenes, like the training grounds in bits. The Old Trafford was in bits as well. Got a new paint job last summer and stuff like that. But it goes back to one thing. They've certainly let the club rot in some ways. Listen, don't get me wrong, the Glazers have given money to managers and supported managers, season after season in the transfer market, but we just haven't got it right for whatever reason,
they've allowed idiots to spend the money, non-footballing idiots to spend the money, and that's what the issue is. And I think looking at Ineos in there at the moment, I think some of the stuff Jim's doing, I can respect him working on the background stuff and all that kind of stuff first and getting that all sorted. But you're eventually going to have to turn around and go face to face with a Marcus Rashford or a Bruno Fernandes and go, boys, find a new home. You're both done.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's coming, and that has to happen. And the funny thing about it is that the players that you it's the senior players that somewhat need binning off. It's the younger players this season who have kind of joined.
You look at Manu coming in. He looks an absolute season pro. Nothing is too. Nothing's too big for him to do, and you seen him against Luton.
And then you look at Casemiro yesterday after 70 minutes, not a set of legs on him, down on his feet, couldn't move.
And he was like that against Luton the first half down in Kenilworth Road. I know he got that booking, and he was lucky not to get sent off. But Mania was carrying him for that game, and he was carrying him for that game against City as well. I think Scott McTominay has done really, really well when he's come in. He's probably not everyone's cup of tea or whatever, but I think he's been excellent. He gives it his all. You can see that. He's come through the ranks as well, But Manu coming in, and listen, we've got a lot of good young lads coming through. You look at the under-18s. The under-18s seem to just touch off things, and they win trophies nowadays. And you look at the 23s. We've Daniel Gore, who's out on loan and stuff like that. There's a lot of young lads out on loan at the minute that I think can come back in and contribute at some stage. I don't know what's going on with Ahmad. He had a great season, 2 seasons on loan with Sunderland, and he's come back in and he hasn't been given the opportunity really. I know he got injured in pre-season. He was very unlucky and stuff like that, but he's getting back into it now. He can be a real baller, and watching him in the 23s a few seasons ago as well.
He came on for the FA Cup game midweek, didn't he? And he did all right.
Yeah, no, he came on. Yeah, but he's been on the bench and stuff like that. He just hasn't gotten a start, but he's really one for the future as well, I think.
Yeah, well, the problem for Ten Hag as well is he hasn't, where you might want to take Bruno out, he hasn't had an option to do it really, so he's kind of been stuck with him a bit, And
in fairness, Bruno's been fit. He hasn't been injured at all, whether it's probably a bad thing because, you want to give someone else an opportunity and get the winner out of the team, but he hasn't done that,
Yeah, it'd be a big decision to make as well, because obviously he was the one who made the decision on making him captain as well,
Yeah. He has to back himself up after making that decision and keep giving him the opportunity. But it's just so frustrating when you're a fan and you're watching that as you were yesterday. And listen, some people out there were like, "Oh, we're just relieved it was only 3-1 and all." And you're like, lads, even like the likes of a Burnley fan won't come out against Manchester City and say that,
do you know what it is? I speak about that all the time. I actually spoke about it this morning with the lads in our WhatsApp group as well. The actual drop in the standards and the levels that we keep is absolutely shocking. The stuff that we now consider world class or amazing and all is bang average from years ago. Barely the standard and stuff
but like that, you look at it, cuz, and I spoke about this with James and work today. Like Manchester City of years ago when we were dominant and they'd always come to Old Trafford and give us a game. We might only win like a 2-1 or a 1-0 or something. They'd always, no matter how far we were apart, they'd always come and give us a game. And, they play fluid football and they wouldn't sit back and park the bus and stuff like that. And that's exactly what we did against them. And like they all over a decade, and I know they got relegated then, but they used to come and give us a game in Old Trafford, and we can't even do that. And then we're delighted when it's only 3-1. It doesn't say a lot at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Full time at Sheffield United, Arsenal winning 6-0. Ben White with the only goal in the second half. So obviously they pulled up their boots and their socks and they sorted themselves out somewhat.
Plus 45 Arsenal have goal difference. Jesus Christ. We're -2.
Yeah. Oh, Romy One Kenobi. As a Real Madrid fan, I never feared the Liverpool team as much as I did with Klopp because you never knew what was going to happen. That final had me sweating like an MLB pitcher in a World Series. Absolutely. Ruben Amorim is a great shout. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been linked, at the
moment. We were thinking about him as well if Alonso didn't come off. But there's more positive news about Alonso today for Liverpool, and we'll get into that in a second. The Stephen Ireland days, the Stephen. Remember that? What he got, the pink Range Rover, or was it the pink wheels on the Range?
Yeah, he had the pink Range Rover. Yeah.
Then he had the pink wheels.
Driving his nanny around in it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your thoughts on this? This row has come up again now. This club versus country debate. Obviously, we're right in the business end of the season now. This lad Salah has been out injured for us, and at the AFCON we've lost him for the goods of nearly 3 months or 2.5 months at this stage.
Yeah.
He's about to come back into the team. Daz was telling us earlier he could be back fit for the game on Thursday and then on to the City game and stuff like that. We've requested him to be excluded from the Egyptian friendlies coming up in 2 weeks or whenever it is or something like that. What's your feeling at times like that? Do you feel at times like that where they're only just friendlies? He's come off the back of a national tournament. Funny enough, the coach now of Egypt is the one who vilified him when he decided to come home and do his recovery at Liverpool, because of the better facilities and all that kind of stuff. But what's your feeling here? Should the club have more power to veto that in a situation like this where everything is on the line? You're fighting for all the trophies at the moment. You're at the business end of the season with 11, 12 games to go, whatever it is. And these are a couple of friendlies. They're meaningless friendlies. They don't mean anything on the back of a tournament. What's your feeling? Should the club be able to turn around and go, listen, we're not sending them for this, we're keeping them?
I think it's common sense. A lot of it's common sense, and it goes back to, obviously I spoke about Sir Alex Ferguson. He always used to have this about the international friendlies. Roy Keane would always seem to pull a groin or a hamstring or something before we played a friendly, and it seems to be a lot more of them as well. Particularly now in international football, you look at the way they are. A lot of them are glorified friendlies. You're looking at the World Cup qualifiers and the Euro qualifiers as the main things. But now we have all the Group A and Group B of this Euro. It's gone crazy, and I think a lot of it has come down, obviously, for like we talked about the international breaks before. Between the start of the season and Christmas, there was three international breaks.
Yeah, crazy.
That's way too much. And this one for me, it's common sense. It's a friendly. Don't send them. You're in the run-in now at the minute. You're top of the league. He's your biggest asset, your biggest player. Imagine he went there and got another injury playing a meaningless friendly for Egypt against whoever it is. I think the club is right to be able to. Now listen, if it was a big AFCON game, or not AFCON but a qualifier, I'd say right, it's a big deal for them. But a friendly situation like that, definitely keep the player in Liverpool.
Yeah, I just think this rolls on.
It doesn't.
There's a fractured relationship there as well between the Egyptian FA and Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool at the moment, because of the talk in the summer as well about playing in the Olympics.
Yeah.
They want them to play in the Olympics as well. Now, listen, by the time the summer rolls around, it might not be our problem anymore. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see.
But still, I just think these friendlies are ridiculous, especially, like I said, he's your biggest asset. You don't want them going there getting injured, and you're missing them for the big run-in and stuff like that. And is that game before the City game? The United game, the FA Cup game.
I'm not too sure. Because I know we have City. I know we've City this week.
Sunday.
Prague.
Yeah.
And then the Paddy's Day is the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So it must be right after that, isn't it?
It could be. Yeah. So
right after that. But it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Especially
I think it's a joke. That's a joke. Just keep him in Liverpool and feck what Egypt think. Anyway, like I said, Ferguson done it for years with Ireland and England and stuff like that.
Yeah. Morris is in. Alonso talks with Bayern tonight. Apparently, Niall just broke an hour ago. Yeah, he is talking to them, but he had discussions with Liverpool representatives, as far as I know, over the weekend, and Liverpool have offered him formally a 3-year contract, from what I read, and I believe on the basis of that, I heard Bayern were looking to the Feyenoord manager to potentially come into Bayern. That's the talk at the moment. So We'll see what happens. Egypt fans won't like that at all. No, they won't. But Egypt fans should want what's best for their player as well and stuff like that. And
especially if it's only a friendly, like.
Yeah, and I mean, do Egypt fans want to see Mo Salah playing in 2 friendlies and then miss out on potentially a Europa League final, a run-in a league and an FA Cup final? Or
and not only that, because you look at it, these friendlies are ideal for giving younger players an opportunity to go out and progress and shine, bring some of them up from the underage teams and give them that opportunity that they probably wouldn't have,
Yeah, he's paid by Liverpool, so they do have the right. They kind of do, but they don't really. I think if he's requested and they don't agree, apparently we have to release him, from what I believe.
Because the players get paid by their country now as well, it can be a different story. Years ago, they weren't really. You were winning your cap and you were representing your country, but they do get paid for international duty now.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially on the backdrop of everything that's going on, we are, and like we're under pressure for players as well. We've a huge injury list, what I mean. So it's not like we can let Salah go off and go, that's grand, we'll just bring in Jota or something, We've kind of rode that boat already this season to the extreme. Teams need to be more strict on stuff like that. So respect to Liverpool. We shall see what way it pans out. Aces, then you have to watch the awful Goldberg and Lesnar match. Yeah, you do. You do have to watch the awful Goldberg and Lesnar match. Absolutely. Anyone else a fan of new Champions League format? I welcome it in the Champions League. Hasn't been great the last few years. I don't know. This is all the Super League. This is UEFA Super League just dressed up, really, isn't it?
They have to do something, though. I do agree with Morris. Like the last, probably, you're looking at, I'm thinking at least 10 to 15 years. Like it only really gets good in the quarters and semis. The group stages now are kind of, listen, I know I can't talk, we finished bottom of the group, but the group stages can be a bit bland at times, and it's just when it gets to the knockout stages and last 32, last 16, whatever it is. I think the quarterfinals is when it gets heated up, and then obviously the semi and the final. So
it's contrived. It's contrived for TV, and then it's only when it gets down to the business end of it and stuff.
Of course, it is. I think this year, more so than any other year, everyone was looking at one group, and that was Newcastle, AC Milan, Dortmund, and PSG. I don't think there's been many groups like that over the last few years where you can think of and say that was a really good group. Like I said, I only think it gets interested in the knockout stages, and I think that's why they're trying to introduce something different to it and going to give it a breath of fresh air,
Yeah, David's in. Evening, lads. Just back from talking. We're on top of the league. Happy Monday.
Too right. Only dropped 2 points this season. I think, did Rovers get beat? I think 2-1.
Here's a question for David. If Duffer hadn't had the falling out with the FAI, would he be Ireland manager now?
I don't think he'd take it. Even if he didn't, I don't think he'd take it.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Man.
Interesting, David. Give us your thoughts on that. Would Duffer have taken the Ireland job if he hadn't had that Barney with the FAI? Let me know your thoughts on it.
Duffer's doing wonders there for Shells. It's unreal.
The Wexford Volcano's in. I'm starting to dream, man. Are you, Coyle? Hope you're well as well, pal. I heard you were in hospital and all. Hope everything is good.
How are you, Coyle?
Hope you're on the mend. We get you back on soon again, Coyle, as well. But hope you're doing well, pal. You should be dreaming. You should be dreaming, and you should be positive, and you should be enjoying every minute of this season. You're absolutely flying at the minute. Flying. It doesn't get any better than this, except lifting the trophy. But it doesn't get any better in terms of in the season. Aces Goldberg versus Lesnar was toilet match. Yeah, the Volcano was in. Romy One Kenobi, new Champions League format confused me. It was all right the way it was. Why fix something that's not broke? I think sometimes it just gets stale. I'd imagine they're looking at the viewing numbers, and they're probably obviously very concerned that on certain match weeks, where you have the kind of lesser teams getting drawn and stuff like that, it's kind of losing its shine a little bit.
Slightly,
yeah, absolutely. But they love tinkering with stuff. It means more money to them and all. Coyle, fraud Teta is only a matter of time. Racers, big up, bro. I'm trying to cheer Kyle up here, Racers. I'm not trying to knock him down. He's had a tough few weeks and all. David's in 2-2.
Rovers Derry, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. Acers, I know, says he does. And David's in. If he didn't fall out, I think he'd have been offered and he wouldn't have been able to refuse that. I think so as well, David. That's my thoughts on it. I think if you're offered the Ireland job, I think it's, as much as he's loving life at Shells and stuff like that, I think the Ireland job is absolutely massive.
But then you look at it as well. Why haven't they offered Stephen Bradley the job? The job he's done at Rovers over the last few years, it's been unbelievable. And you think, why haven't they offered him? Unless they have, and he hasn't taken it because he's gone for the drive for 5, as they say, gone for the historic 5 in a row at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's much more difficult from that point of view, I'd say. Yeah, big up, Kyle. Hope you're doing well, pal. Definitely have you back on soon. Don't forget, man, if you need that and we're only an Instagram message away, give me a shout if you ever want to ring or chat.
Yeah, fuck well.
Remember last year, Kyle, no trophies for us.
Well, Morris, you could have trophies. I'm only a call away.
Yeah, if you need trophies, you're on the right podcast. They're all there. They're all available.
I have them there
behind me. They're all there. If you need trophies. If trophies is what you're missing and cheers you up, that's what you need.
I tell you, I'll look after you, Morris.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Have Liverpool got their man? As Bayern are starting to look to the Feyenoord manager now, but we'll see what talks come out with the Alonso information.
It's going to be interesting.
We shall see. European action this week: Man City versus Copenhagen, 3-1. More or less have it in the bag. Copenhagen can be dangerous away from home. They played us twice, didn't they?
Yeah, we found that out. I think, but I think City will have enough, in their armour to get over the line here, and I could see them possibly winning 2-0 here.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'd say he'll probably.
Copenhagen will make it tough for them, but I just think 2-0. I think 5-1 on aggregate. I think will be the score.
I was looking at City's bench there again yesterday. Kanji, Kovacic, Nunes. They just like it's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oscar Bob coming on late and stuff
Bob
like that.
Bob coming on, exactly. Yeah.
There's so many options there. And the funny thing about it is those players, the likes of Foden and all, he's probably dying to keep on playing stuff like that because
100%.
Go on.
And you look at Grealish getting injured last week, like the devastation on his face because he hasn't been getting into the team too much with the way Foden has been playing and stuff, and a few of the others, and you're seeing how devastated he actually was to go off injured, after getting a start.
A lot of that as well is trying to create the impression for Southgate and get it back into that England side and stuff like that.
Yeah, big
that's
time.
Going to be tough because you even look at Rashford there and stuff like that. If he doesn't up his form very quick, he's going to find himself out of that as well.
Big time. Sure, he shouldn't be anywhere near that squad.
I think after getting the humiliation of 6-0 FAI Cup final defeat in the Aviva, Duffer thought no thanks to the FAI.
Duffer.
I would have thought that would be more reason.
Good old Acers.
We have the Red Bull crew. Yeah, you do. Yeah, interesting. I don't see that being a problem. We're not going to stumble on that one. Imagine if Kane goes out tomorrow night against Lazio, no trophies again. I would say no. I don't know. It's teetering, isn't it? It is teetering. But listen, are we expecting? I don't expect Bayern Munich to win the Champions League this year. Anyway, I'm not too sure about that. So,
I don't think they would have went all the way.
League form has been horrific, to say the least. So yeah, that's it. This is your European. So you Sparta Prague, Liverpool on Thursday. First leg away from home. Probably.
What do you think?
I don't know because I don't know what he has available in order to make changes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think what he'll do is he'll probably manage his way through this game and do the damage maybe back home at Anfield if we can keep it tight and stuff like that. But his priority has to be Sunday against Man City. So the question is, tough place to go as well, Prague. Not an easy place to go and play football either. So we'll see what happens there. Brighton is going to be interesting against away to Roma. West Ham away to Freiburg, and obviously Aston Villa away to Ajax. So some tasty toys there for the
There is, and
midweek
like
cup offers.
Roma, since Mourinho's gone, the Rossi's come in and they're actually going on a bit of a run at the minute as well. And obviously, we seen Brighton on Saturday against Fulham. I'd expect Roma to win there, to be honest.
Yeah, Romy Munkanobi, if Carvajal has a shocker on
That's it.
Wednesday, like he did on Saturday against Valencia, I'm hiding. Yeah, and listen, it's unusual for like he's normally your solid guy. He doesn't
Yeah.
normally, make too many mistakes. He should be fine. Pep will be resting Haaland and De Bruyne and Rodri.
Yeah. Alvarez and I'll be starting 100%.
Yeah, you'll have Alvarez in there, Kovacic will be in there, Nunez will be in there. Anyone who was basically on the bench, they'll just swap it back out and stuff like that and all. But,
Scott Carson and goal, what?
yeah, but he'll definitely have them on the bench though, just in case Copenhagen do a madness and something happens, and he needs to.
Yeah, just an insurance policy.
Yeah, absolutely. But we shall see what happens. Well, as always, friend, my cousin, my referee on the podcast, it's been another good one. Doing well. Don't forget, folks. We tell you at the top of the show as well if you do need if you do need a trophy. Martin.
And lads, none of the lads wrote about the 147 hole in one perfect hat trick.
Yeah, never told us your results on that. No dedication.
That's it,
to
lads.
The cause. No dedication to cause. Make sure, folks, as well, you're checking out all the channels on there. Check out Morris's channel. Absolutely killing it at the moment. Anyone else in there? Ted was in there earlier. Coyle's in there. Make sure you're subbing the Coyle's channel as well. Give them all the love. Big season this season for the Gunners. And anyone else in there who has channels, don't be scared. If you want to drop your links in, folks, feel free to drop your links in the chat anytime. We love sharing the love here as always. Good show, guys. Bring the minerals as always. Yeah, we certainly do. Don't forget, tomorrow night, folks, I'll be back 8 o'clock with a bonus kind of Pro Wrestling Weekly. We're going to be reviewing AEW Revolution, Sting's final match as the curtain came down on his career. We'll go through that tomorrow night. We'll talk a few other bits as well. Paul Heyman tonight being confirmed as the first inductee into the 2024 Hall of Fame as well. Yeah, so there you go, Paul Heyman going in. So we'll have a little bit of a discussion on that as well.
It's going to be hardcore, baby.
Yeah, Wednesday I'm back at 8 o'clock as well with Pro Wrestling Weekly. We'll go through all that good stuff that I have there lined up as well. Thursday I'm back with Darren on Thursday Tier Talk. Friday I'm doing a Manchester City preview, non-stop at the moment. Non-stop. You got me for the whole week.
That goes fair play.
Yeah,
that Sting match last night. I just seen a video earlier on Facebook, I think it was, of Lex Luger in a wheelchair. Was that last night at the event?
Yeah, that was last night. Yeah, that was last night.
And then DDP strolling up behind them and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was Lex was there, DDP, Nikita Koloff, Magnum TA. They were all out for him. They were all there.
No way.
Give him a good standoff and stuff like that. So it was nice to see them there and stuff like that as well. And what a crazy match it was as well. I don't know if you've seen Darby Allin's dive off the ladder straight down through a pane of glass. His back was destroyed. But we'll chat about it tomorrow night as well. Dark Side is back tomorrow evening as well. Well, it'll be Wednesday for us, starting out with Earthquake.
I've seen a few clips of that. It looks really good.
Yeah, make sure you're checking out as well the biographies and the rivals and all that stuff as well. It's really, really good at the moment. Some of that stuff they're doing on A&E and stuff like that, well worth a watch, even though it's kind of a bit of a refresher. Jumping through glass, the idiot, yeah, it was crazy. Until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video, and we shall talk to you again real soon. Cheers, cuz.